Maido! Hi there, Japan fans. Today's show, we're going to talk about the pointless. Present Master Shimashou. This is the 5th year of the Presentation Japan Series podcast, and we are beaming around the world to you from sunny Minato-ku here in Tokyo. And I'm your host, Dr. Greg Story, Dale Carnegie franchise owner for Tokyo, the president of Dale Carnegie Training Tokyo, Japan, and 3-time best-selling author of Japan Sales Mastery, Japan Business Mastery, and Japan Presentations Mastery. And my new book in Japanese, Zaegyo, is now available on Amazon. Through this podcast, I want to help you become a better speaker who is clear, confident, persuasive, and highly influential with those around you. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast with your family, friends, and colleagues. We are not being sponsored by Libsyn, but we value your privacy, which is why we have our podcast hosted by Libsyn, who, unlike many other podcast hosts, have a strict policy that does not allow access to your private information by anyone. Here is our daily podcast lineup on iTunes. Mondays, the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show. Tuesdays, the Presentations Japan Series. Every second Tuesday, the Business Tatsujin no Oshie Show. Wednesdays, the Sales Japan Series. Thursdays, the Leadership Japan Series. Every second Thursday, the Business Pro Podcast Show. Fridays, the Japan Business Mastery Show. And Saturdays, Japan's top business interviews. Now, this is episode number 296. Today, we're talking about pointless presentations. I'm just back from a highly pointless presentation. The bureaucrats who run the Tokyo Metro subway system and the Tokyo Government Planning Division were presenting on their plan for a new subway line to be constructed in my neighbourhood. This is my second occasion to attend one of these types of presentations. The previous one was about changing the direction of aircraft landing at Haneda and for planes to fly lower over our neighbourhoods, which unfortunately are in the new direct flight path. These explanation sessions are pointless for many reasons, including the way they are conducted. There is no real appetite to entertain the viewpoint of the assembled residents, and so the design is to obscure, divert, and suck up as much time as possible with administrative aspects of the meeting in order to limit the question time. Interestingly, they had a slideshow which had an announcer read the whole content to us. Why was that required when everyone can read what is on the screen? To use up the question time, of course. Question time itself is interesting in the way they handle it. Somewhat surprisingly, they do what we teach regarding hostile questions. They had a navigator take the hot question, then paraphrase it, removing all the venom and spiky bits before handing it over to the supposed experts. You might be thinking, well, these are government bureaucrats, so there's no relation to the world of commerce. Often we see the flaws in others, but ignore those same flaws in ourselves. Japanese business presentations are very formal. There will be a navigator to tell us things like where the exits are located and to turn off our phones. The president giving the talk will often not be highly familiar with the slides prepared by the underlings and will read the whole thing to us. Sometimes, if there is a screen located behind the podium, they will unhelpfully turn their back to us and they head towards the screen and then read the whole content to us. Often, there will be a slick corporate video shown, the main purpose of which is to reduce the president's speaking time burden and which adds very little value to the presentation. Taking the sting out of questions is a legitimate technique, but you still have to handle the questions. Today, there is a lot of dissembling of answers, and that is never satisfactory. The same things happen in business. You see the speaker is flustered by the question and doesn't know how to handle it. The first problem is they go directly to answer mode instead of creating a little brain space to think about the answer. Invariably, we have all had the experience of coming up with the killer answer about 2 hours too late for when we needed it. What came out of our mouth, though, was the first thing which popped into our mind, and obviously that will never be as good as a more considered answer. Our mouth was too close to our ear and our brain wasn't engaged fast enough before we blurted out our response. We can wind up sprouting nonsense in reply to the question. Find out more. We come back from the break. Our show today is brought to you by our public programs, but we also do custom-made in-house classes. Now, we do them in our super safe classroom, we do them live online, and we do them in Japanese, and we do them in English. Today's show is being brought to you by, on the 12th of July, we'll be having our previews of our shows coming up. On the 23rd, we'll be doing our professional ongoing education series. On the 27th of July, we'll be doing our Dale Carnegie course. On the 28th of July, we'll be doing our High Impact Presentations program. Check out our website at www.dale-carnegie, carnegie.co.jp. Lots and lots of value for you there. Now, to do better in Japan, email me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. Get my best-selling books, Japan Sales Mastery, that's the Bible for selling in Japan, and Japan Business Mastery, and my new book, Japan Presentations Mastery. If you like learning by watching videos, there are over 1,000 there for you at Tokyo, Japan, Dale Carnegie TV on YouTube. We release 3 TV shows every week on YouTube. The Cutting Edge Japan Business Show, which is the premier business show in Japan, comes out Mondays. Fridays, the Japan Business Mastery Show, and Saturdays, Japan's top business interviews, where I interview leaders in Japan from SMEs all the way up to the corporate captains of industry on one topic, leading in Japan. Every second Thursday, we release the Business Pro Television Show. Don't forget, you can email me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. Welcome back. Just adding a little cushion makes a world of difference. The cushion is that space between the question ending and the answer proper beginning. You might ask them to repeat the question, or you can paraphrase what they said, or you can make a neutral comment such as, "That is a very important consideration," or all three, to gain thinking time. 5 seconds does a wonder of good when it comes to contemplating how to handle tough questions. Naturally, our answers won't always be satisfying for certain members of the audience, but we need to explain the logic of our approach, decisions, or our actions. If we don't know the answer, then trying to snow the audience instead of admitting the truth is a guaranteed way to destroy a reputation. Audiences will accept it if you say to the questioner, "I don't have an answer for that point at the moment, but let's exchange business cards after my talk and I will find the answer for you. Who has the next question?" Now, this only works when the question is very specific and the answer is not something that you would be expected to necessarily have at your fingertips. If it is within the scope of your subject and you don't know the answer, then that is a black mark on your professionalism. You see this sometimes from jet-setting VIPs who swoop in to give their talk before they head off to the next engagement. It's a PR exercise which can go wrong very quickly. Their presentation was prepared for them and they think their job is to just read it out to us. Again, it is better to be honest and admit you should know that answer, apologize that you don't, and promise to get the answer to the questioner. None of us are perfect, so we will accept your odd flaw and imperfection. We should always keep in mind that every time we get up to speak, we are punting our personal and professional brands out there for all to see. Prepare thoroughly and rehearse. Rehearse. Rehearse is the right formula. If we do that, people will come away impressed with us and feel the time spent was worthwhile, and they will be looking forward to hearing from us again in the future. Thank you for joining the Presentation Japan series. If you got value from today's show, spread the love around and share it with your family, friends, and colleagues. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast. Immediately apply what you have learned today, use it, and go out there and become a presentations legend. Remember, I'm your corporate coaching and training guy in your corner, committed to your success here in Nippon.